Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you all so much for coming to the Sunday feast, ISKCON Columbus. And today is the auspicious day of Ekadasi.
Haribo.
So we have a very fortunate and beloved speaker, Urukrama Das Prabhu. And Urukrama Prabhu is a well-known member of our congregation. He is a disciple of His Holiness Tanvir Goswami Maharaj. And he has been practicing Krishna consciousness for a couple of decades.
Haribo.
And he is very blessed with his wonderful family, Kalindi Sundari Mataji, who is also a disciple of Swami Maharaj. And two little children, they are not little anymore now. Ujjwal Nitai and Deeptiman, very inspiring to our congregation members, Alliance Kids. I'd like to invite Urukrama Prabhu today, and the topic for today's discourse is Jagannath Ratha Yatra.
Haribo.
Very interesting topic. Please be attentive, and Prabhu will ask questions, and we have to answer them. Thank you, Urukrama Prabhu.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Nandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunda Vihari Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtadarashada Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, all the holy scriptures Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai, Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radhanattabar Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Nam Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Krishna Vadari Vishnu Madhidana Kaswami Nam Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Krishna Vadari Vishnu Madhi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nam Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Miritam Yana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamagyam Dadati Swapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Panchakalpa tarubhyascha, kripa sindhu bevacha, patitanam pavanebhyo, vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you very much everybody for coming to discuss the Krishna Katha. Jagannath Katha. It is such a great occasion to come together with all devotees and discuss Krishna Katha. We drown in this material world and we postpone often our readings and our studies, but when we know the devotee is coming and we have to speak, then we have to put everything aside and observe ourselves in Krishna Katha, and that is a very wonderful divine intervention. And we can practice this at home also. If we can invite relatives and friends and we can prepare some topic and we can speak. Because this is how one should study. Even in college, some teacher would say that you should study as you going to teach the subject. Then you understand very well. So, I was thinking what we should speak, and we just now had Ratha Yatra in Pavel, and then we will have on Saturday Ratha Yatra in Wheeling, West Virginia. And I thought that will be the most related topic, the most appropriate topic for us now to discuss, because when we come for a festival, we get carried away with the festival and we may not have time for sit down for the class and hear the story of Jagannath. So therefore we will speak now, and that way we prepare ourselves, and in full knowledge and with proper emotion and mood we can pull Jagannath in Wheeling, West Virginia on Saturday. So we start from beginning. Krishna spent 10 years and 7 months in Vrindavan. Then he went to Mathura. He had to do his duties. He had to leave to annihilate the demons and to reestablish the principles of religion. So he spent 17 years in Mathura. First he killed Kamsa, and then what happened? The Jarasandha got very much upset. Why? Because his 2 daughters married to Kamsa. And now in Vedic system, when a husband dies, then the girl would not marry again. So, and now they were 2 young girls, now all life they have to stay as widows. And he was furious. He thought, okay, I go and I destroy this Krishna. He destroyed my family life, so I will destroy him. And he went and he attacked And Krishna was thinking, well, that's actually a very good arrangement, because I came to annihilate all the demons, and now Jarasandha collect all the demons and bring it to me. I don't even have to go and look for them. So Jarasandha collect all the demons and they went to attack, and Krishna destroyed him, and he thought, well, there is more demons, let him go and collect some more. And he left him alive, and Jarasandha left. And like this, Jarasandha would be coming about once a year to Mathura, and collecting all the demons and bringing millions of them. And that was a furious battle. And in the midst of all this, Krishna could not really go to Vrindavan because he had such a great fight, and so much anger was getting built up with all this destruction. So he couldn't expose the Vrindavan. So he kept it secret, because otherwise all the demons may want to take revenge and go to Vrindavan and destroy it and torture his devotees. And residents of Vrindavan, they thought we go to Krishna. And they wanted to go, but then Nanda Maharaj came back. After Krishna killed Kamsa, Nanda Maharaj came back. Krishna told Nanda, he said, I should spend some time with Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, and then I come back. So Nanda Maharaj came back to Vrindavan, and he said, Krishna is coming, he just spent some time there and he coming. You don't need to go. So they stayed. Then they wait, Krishna not coming. They thought to go again. And then Krishna sent Uddhava. Then Uddhava came and he spent 11 months there. He pacified them, and it says that he went as a teacher. He thought to teach them how they can be satisfied by thinking of Krishna. And but he came back as a student, because he understood that this is actually, they have something more than I have. And he became their student, and in fact he prayed that let me take birth on another side of Yamuna and be that grass that the residents coming and wiping their feet and going to the Vrindavan. So Uddhava came, and he tried to pacify them, and they didn't go. So they stayed. They hear the Uddhava read Krishna's letter to them, and they stayed. Then what happened when these battles were going on, that they even had to leave Vrindavan and stay incognito, because all these millions of armies were coming, and the battle was spilling out to the close location to Vrindavan. So they had to hide, thinking that they all going to war with Krishna, and now we are his devotees. We have to stay away from this. So like this, 17 times Jarasandha collect all the demons and attack Krishna. And then 18th time he collect millions of people, and then Krishna already saw that there is not much demons left, and this will be unnecessary killing. There was also some people who were not very demonic. So he decided to just leave and take all his Madhura with him to Dwaraka, to relocate everybody. Because now Jarasandha also joined his forces with Kalayavana, and Kalayavana brought another millions of people to fight. So Krishna left, and then Krishna stayed in Dwaraka for 100 years. So he was 28 years old when he became Dwarakadish, king of Dwaraka, and he stayed in Dwaraka for 100 years. Now, this was narrated by Gaur Govinda Swami. Gaur Govinda Swami is a great devotee from very childhood. He had devotional mood. At the age of 8, he read all the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he could speak on those topics. And then his father died in a young age, and he had to take care of family. And then family wanted him to get married, so he married, and then he stayed as householder, and then he left at age 45. He left house, and he was looking for guru, and he went to Vrindavan, and there he met Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada talked with him, and he accepted the name of Gopal Nanda. Gopal Nanda. So that way, Gauranga is there, and Gopal, because he had an intimate relationship with Gopal. In his town, local temple was Gopalju. And that deity will have big eyes like Jagannath. And he's standing with the flute. So even when he had some major decision as a Swami, he would say, I go ask Gopal. And he would travel there to that temple. And then later the pujari thought that he cannot take care properly of the deity, and he gave that deity to Gaur Govinda Swami. So then he opened the temple in Bhuvaneshwar, and it was actually land donated to ISKCON, and Prabhupada sent him to establish temple, but that was very far from city, and people was afraid to come there, and the snakes were there in the jungle. You know how often it is. The people donate something to devotees of Krishna, something that they can't make any use of. So he stayed there, and he made one hut. And then Prabhupada came there one time, and devotees make arrangement for Prabhupada to stay in a nice place. And Prabhupada said, no, I'm going to stay in Gaur Govinda Swami's hut. And he stayed there. So Gaur Govinda Swami, he was born in Orissa, and it was close proximity to Jagannath temple. So his understanding is very deep, and actually he was from Giri family. And in a book of records of the Jagannath temple, there was record that king himself mentioned that this family should come as much as possible to sing bhajan for Lord Jagannath. So they were very devotional. So he wrote Embankment of Separation, a book. And in there he explained that story of Jagannath, how Jagannath Ratha Yatra came. So he mentioned that residents of Vrindavan, they had each other. They could talk to each other, and they could remember Krishna. They could speak the pastimes. And in fact, the covered boys even didn't feel separation from Krishna, because they so much was hallucinating of Krishna and imagining him that they thought they are with Krishna. They would share some food with Krishna, and they play with Krishna, and they run, and they see Krishna everywhere. So they had each other to share their separation. But Krishna, in Dwaraka, whom he had there to speak about Vrindavan. So he couldn't say about, he couldn't start Gopikatha with his queens, right? And that will be maybe upsetting to the queens. In fact, queens were thinking that, what is this Vrindavan? They were so busy to take care of their animals and farming that they couldn't feed him, and he ate mud. And then he would run to other gopis' houses, and he break some pot and get some food to eat. And then they catch him and tied him to a grinding mortar. And then he ran with bare feet and on the thorns and stones, and here we give him golden sandals. So what is this Vrindavan? We take nice care of Krishna. But so Krishna didn't speak so much to anybody. And he would sometimes, in his dream, he would call Vrindavan, he would call, hey Radhe, hey Madhumangal, and other covered boys, and names of cows. And queens would think, what? He is here in palace with queens, with 16,000 queens, and now he missing cows. So because Krishna now changed everything, he left and he changed everything. He changed his caste. He was standing straight. No more tribanga, and no more peacock feather, and no more flute. And his mind was engaged, though. You can say that he was engaged in the battle, right? He was engaged with the 16,000 palaces. But the gopis, they said that when Uddhav told them to meditate, they said, which mind we're going to meditate? Krishna left and our mind left with him. And we don't have 6 minds to, with one mind we take care of the household, with another mind we take care of our cows, and with another mind we meditate. Our mind left with Krishna, and that was the condition of gopis. They were not capable to do anything. So, but Krishna was engaged with all this. But at night sometimes he would dream. And one day he was so much absorbed in this separation with Radha and Vrindavan that he lost his consciousness. And he was just laying down on the ground and Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. And Narada Muni was passing by and he saw Krishna. So he thought, what should be done? And then Uddhav came to that place. And he said, Uddhav, what are we going to do? Krishna is unconscious. What should be done? Uddhav said, well, you can start chanting the name of the Radha and the songs of Vrindavan, glorify Vrindavan in poetry. Narada Muni said, yes, we can do that. But Krishna will wake up and then he wants to go to Vrindavan. So he said, we should arrange chariot for him. They called chariot with the Daruka. And, okay, chariot is ready, Krishna wake up and then he will go. Then Uddhav said, but there is a problem. He will go, he will not come back. So what can be done? And Narada Muni said, well, you go to Vrindavan, pacify them, make them stop crying, say that Krishna is coming, everybody go to your normal activity and do as everything is okay. Then he will come and he will see that everybody happy, everybody doing what they doing, and then he come back. Otherwise, if he see everybody crying, everybody on the ground, and everybody in distress, then he will stay. He can't leave them. Uddhav said, well, I don't think they're going to believe me because I already spent 11 months there, and I tried to convince them. But and I told them that I bring Krishna, but so many years passed after that, and Krishna didn't come, so I don't think they can believe. So he said, yeah, okay. So what should be done? And then Balaram was coming. Balaram came in that same place, and I said, oh Balaram, maybe you can help us. You can go pacify residents of Vrindavan. And Balaram said, you know what? One time I went for 2 months. I spent 2 months there, and I told them Krishna is coming. But in Vrindavan he listened to me, but now he became a king, and he don't listen to me anymore. He said, I have to do so many things, and I can't go. And so they're not going to believe me either. what to speak bringing Krishna in? If I go there and see all these Vrindavan, all these trees that we climb, and those houses that we broke, and the boats that we broke, and all the covered boys, he said, I'm not going to come back myself. So they thought, okay, well, what should be done? And when they were there discussing this subject, then Lady Subhadra came. Subhadra Devi came, and they explained her their dilemma, and Subhadra said, no problem, I go. You old men went, you were not successful. I'm lady, I will pacify gopis. They will understand. I understand their heart, their feelings, and I will talk with them, and we pacify them, and then you can bring Krishna. Said, but if I come, then they will say, how come, why I came, and why Balaram and Krishna didn't come? She said, well, I will say that Krishna is a king and Balaram is a king, so were they coming and everybody offering them, welcoming them, so they got delayed and I came first. So Balaram said, you know what, I can go with you, it's just, I can't go by myself. So I go with you. You do all the talking. And they set off. And Lady Subhadra went, and then Balaram went. Balaram's chariot went faster than Subhadra's, and Balaram reached first. He went straight to Nidhivan. It was directed by Purnamasi or Tulasi Devi, who are making all the arrangements in Vrindavan. So Vrinda Devi brought Balaram and Subhadra to Nidhivan. And in Nidhivan, it was a very tragic scene that Radharani was leaving her body. She was laying down on the dust of Nidhivan, and her head was on the hands of Lalita Devi, and Vishaka Devi was chanting Krishna's name on her ear. Chitra Devi was fanning her. Ranga Devi and Sudevi was massaging her feet, and Indulekha was massaging her body. Champaklata was massaging her body with chandan, and Indulekha was holding the swab of cotton at her nose to see if she's still breathing. So they saw this, and all the residents of Vrindavan was there in Nidhivan. And that time, Abhimanyu came. Abhimanyu is the husband of Radharani. And Abhimanyu came, and he said, I never touched Radharani. And today is the first time I touched her lotus feet and put dust on my head. And he said, I will reveal you the secret, why I'm her husband. And it's actually Krishna is the husband. I'm there just for the lila, because I was pujari in Katyayani temple, and Mother Katyayani became Purnamasi here, arranging all the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And she said that you become her husband, and your service will be to stop her from meeting Radha. That way, everybody will see her love for Krishna. They compare it to the elephant. That elephant is very powerful, and if he walks freely, then nobody understands his power. But if he tied with iron chain and he break the chain, then everybody sees the power. So that's, he said, the real husband of Radharani is Krishna. Actually, I never touched her. And then Kutila came, his sister, and she said, I always find the faults in Radharani. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry for this, and she took dust from Radharani's lotus feet and put as a tilak on her face, and she said, she actually faultless. So she said, I never told this story, and today I'm going to share with all of you the story. She said one day Krishna actually was very sick, and Kaviraj came and he looked and he said that he can be cured if you sprinkle water from Yamuna. She said, okay, I can do that. I can go and bring water. He said, but there is one condition, that pot must have 100 holes, and not even one drop must drop from the pot. She's like, that's more difficult. And he said, there is another thing, is that the lady who brings that pot must have spotless character and must be very chaste to her husband. And she, well, yeah, that's kind of me, so let me try. And she went and she took the pot with 100 holes and she picked up the water, but all water leaked out. She tried again, it's all leaked out. She's like, it doesn't work. Then Radharani went. Radharani went and she picked up the water, and no drop of water dropped from this pot. And she went, sprinkled on Krishna, and Krishna was completely cured. So she said, I never told this story because looking at Radharani is so good. So, but now I will reveal that, since Radharani was dying, so when somebody dying, so you have to say something good. So then Chandravali came. This is the opposite camp of gopis, opposition of Radharani. And she said, you know what? When Krishna sometimes comes to me, but I reveal you the secret that he comes to me because he thinks I'm Radha. When he comes and then he sees me, then he thinking I'm Radha, and he just see in everybody Radha, face of Radha, but then he realized I'm not Radha, and he'd go Radhe, 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 and he leave me. So she said, that's, I reveal you the secret of our relationship. So that's the greatness of Radharani. And Balaram and Subhadra was listening, and they were looking, and they were getting more and more ecstatic, and their bodies start melting, and their eyes became dilated and became big smile to their ears, and their limbs started shrinking, and they took that form that we have here, Balaram and Lady Subhadra. And then Krishna's chariot was coming, Krishna was coming. So when they left, then Narada Muni said, okay, now we have to start. Let's start singing glories of Vrindavan. Wake up, Krishna. And they start singing, Narada Muni starts singing, and Krishna woke up, and he stand in threefold bended form. And then he start looking, and he see, oh, Narada Muni, Uddhav, what are you doing in Vrindavan? And then he looked at them and he said, am I dreaming that I am in Dwaraka? Or I am in Dwaraka and I dream about Vrindavan? And Narada Muni said, actually you're in Dwaraka. But the chariot is there and you can go. They're ready. And Krishna said, okay, let's go. And he started walking, and he couldn't walk straight, just thinking of Vrindavan, that he will meet Radha now and all the residents of Vrindavan. And he couldn't walk straight, and he was walking. And this is what that inspired me to go into this, because I heard something, but I wanted to refresh in my memory when we went to Hindu Bharatiya temple, and how Krishna was going one side, another side, and I was thinking, yeah, I want to read again what the story of Jagannath. and he couldn't walk straight, and he was walking like this, and one side Narada Muni hold him, and another side Uddhav hold him. And Gaur Govinda Swami explained that Krishna was Radha Rasa Madhira Mattar Vigraha. Radha Rasa. He was intoxicated with Radha Rasa, thinking of Radha, his relationship. Radha Rasa Madhira. Madhira is like intoxication, the liquor. Radha Rasa Madhira Mattar Vigraha. Form of Krishna was Krishna in the intoxication of Radha's love. And he was walking like this, and he got on the chariot, and he said, Daruka, faster than the wind. And Daruka said, I will go faster than the mind. And they went. And when they came to Vrindavan, then the Vishaka, who was chanting Krishna's name on the ear of Radharani, she said, Krishna is here. Krishna has arrived. And Radharani immediately get up, and she saw Krishna. And Krishna looked at Radharani, eye to eye, after 100 years of separation. And Krishna fainted. Krishna fainted. And then all the residents of Vrindavan was thinking, what we do? Now we got another problem. Radharani was unconscious, now Krishna unconscious. So Radharani said, okay, Vrinda Devi, you arrange wind from my side, and then the aroma of my body, the dress and the garland enters Krishna's nostrils, and then he will wake up. And Vishaka, you chant my name to his ears. And then soon as Krishna smelled Radharani's fragrance, and he woke up, and Krishna and Radha looked at each other, and Radharani said, it seems that we never separated. She said, this 100 years went so fast. We again together. And she said, I want the whole world witness this our separation. And Krishna said, yes, Radha, I give you this boon that the whole world will see this separation. I will come to Jagannath Puri, and I will stand there in this form. Krishna also, when Krishna joined Balaram and Subhadra, and he see Radharani, his eyes became big smile, and his limbs got shrink, the body started melting. And it said that Lord Chaitanya also was melting, when he was hearing the names of Radha and Krishna Kadha and pastimes of Vrindavan. So then Krishna said, yes, we will come as big logs of wood in Jagannath Puri, floating on the ocean. Just like now we're floating on the ocean of Radha's love, so big logs come to Jagannath Puri floating on the ocean. And because we stand like this now, we're motionless, our forms will be out of wood. And he said, because just like now, Balaram came first on his chariot, then Lady Subhadra, and then myself. On Jagannath Ratha Yatra also Balaram will go on the first chariot, and then Subhadra Devi, and then myself. And he said, not only that, but this your devotion, your love in separation, I will show this love. I will bring that as Lord Chaitanya. I will taste that, and I will share with others. And that's the Lord Jagannath Ratha Yatra, when Lord Chaitanya stands in front of Jagannath, and Jagannath see Lord Chaitanya see Jagannath, and it's like Radha and Krishna meeting again after 100 years of separation. And then it was already 4 in the morning, and Krishna and Radha, they sit, all the residents of Vrindavan sat them on the throne, and then they perform Aratik, and that was Mangal Aratik, and that's our program that given by Srila Prabhupada, very secret, special time when we can come early in the morning when everybody with the mundane life, they sleep. All the mundane life go on till some midnight, and then after all the parties, they all tired and they go to sleep. And then when they all sleep and all the mundane thoughts are out and mundane activities out, we can come to Mangalarati 4 in the morning. Very special time when Radha and Krishna are there on their throne, and we perform Aratik and sing Sangsara Davana Ladida Loka Chanaya Karuna Gana Ganatmam Katasya Kalana Gunanavasya Vande Gurashi Charana Ravindam. So when we experience that, we get addicted. You know, I sometimes we go like this a few times, and then we will be pulled to this. No, maybe I should go tomorrow. Maybe I should come again, because it's such a special experience. And those experiences, they pull us to continue our spiritual life. Now that was narrated by Srila Gauragovinda Swami. Now there is another meeting that happened. That was at Kurukshetra. Krishna in Dwaraka, he was thinking to meet the residents of Vrindavan, and he thought how it can be done without it's being officially Vrindavan being officially disposed, because still some inimical kings was there, and he didn't want to disclose identity of Vrindavan. So there was a solar eclipse, and he said we will go all to Kurukshetra and take holy bath, and we chant mantras, and we get purified from the solar eclipse, and any spiritual activities will be magnified by millions of times. So we should go and do some spiritual activity in Kurukshetra. And he said, announced to everyone that we're going, and everybody can come there too. And all the messengers went around, and messengers came to Vrindavan also. Dum 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 dum. The Dwarkadish, the king of Dwaraka, will be coming to Kurukshetra, and everybody can come and see him. And Nanda Maharaj was, oh, you mean my Lala coming there? Okay. So that's the message from my Lala, because they understood. They understood Krishna's intention. They were not very angry with him, because they knew that he wanted to protect them, and this is why he kept them as a secret and didn't so much advertise them, so that they were safe. So he thought, this is the message from my Lala. So he coming there, I can see him. And then then a personal messenger came, and he delivered a letter to Nanda Maharaj that please come there. I want to see residents of Vrindavan. And then the question was, who gonna go and who gonna stay to take care of the cows and all the household? And Krishna mentioned that those. Then in next paragraph he wrote that those who cannot see me in Vrindavan, those who don't have that connection with me, don't not satisfied with being, seeing me in the heart. Those should come. And that was his parents and the gopis. And that was his answer. And cowherd boys thought, oh yeah, Krishna is here. We can stay with Krishna and play with him, and we take care of the cows. So they never felt separation, because they were so much absorbed that they never feel that Krishna left. They always see Krishna everywhere. And the trees also couldn't go, and trees would stay in one forest, and when Krishna come, they thought, okay, Krishna is here, and they would offer fruits, and then Krishna would not come. They thought he's in another forest, because there is 12 forests in Vrindavan. So trees also didn't feel so much separation, because they thought he is here, but he just going to another forest, or maybe he is in this forest but on another end. So they set up to go to Kurukshetra, and then when Krishna came to Kurukshetra, it says that he came as waves of ocean, him and Balaram with a big army, and they sat there on their thrones, and they would receive all different kings, and then Devaki came, and Vasudeva, and then Queen Kunti, and then Queen Kunti would talk with Vasudeva, and she said, what I had to go through with 5 Pandavas, with my sons, and they tried to burn us in the house and tried to poison Bhima, and Vasudeva said, oh, what I had to go with Kamsa, being in the prison, and they had a friendly talk, share their life difficulties. And then residents of Vrindavan were coming, and Uddhav said, residents of Vrindavan coming, and Krishna saw it, and he said, okay, we dismiss the meeting is over, everybody can leave now. And he told Uddhav, arrange some separate place, I don't want to meet here, on public. And then Uddhav went, he arranged meeting with the residents of Vrindavan, and then Krishna came, and he saw Nanda Baba. And him and Balaram, they fall to the feet of Nanda Maharaj. And Nanda Maharaj, he took him, and he cried, and he took, he touched his face. So how you been? How you doing? Okay? And that's when they were so happy to meet. And then he looked at the bulls that pulled the cart. And he said, oh, you remember me? And bulls look at Krishna, and they said, yeah, you change everything. Through the eyes they communicate that you change your caste. You from Vaishya, now you're Kshatriya. You change your place to Dwaraka. You change your name, now you're Dwarakadish. You're not Gopinath anymore. But we still eating same grass, we in the same place, and we couldn't die. We would be happy to die, instead of going through all this pain. But we thought, if we die and you come and see us dead, then you will be so hurt. So we stayed alive. And that was the condition of residents of Vrindavan. And then Krishna said, where is my mother? Yashodamai. And they show one palanquin, and he went there with Balaram, and they fall on their knees on front of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda hug them and hold them to her dress. And she cried, and she said, so you being okay? Have you eaten okay? And she had so much motherly affection. And Radharani was in another place with the gopis, and Radharani was waiting, and she was thinking that I come and then Krishna see me, I see Krishna, and then she understood that Krishna is with all the residents of Vrindavan and it will take very long time. I don't know, and she just dropped her patience dropped. She thought, you know, he just gonna be with all the residents now, and I don't know even if he remembers me, and she just dropped the hope. And at the point, Krishna understood Radharani's thoughts, and he told Uddhav, okay, arrange another meeting with the gopis in another place. And then Uddhav took gopis to his side, and then Krishna went and he came. And Radharani was, her head was down. She lost hope, and her hairs was scattered, and her dress was not well arranged, and she started chanting, Yogaitam nimeshina chakshusha pravishaitam shunyaita Shunyaita jagat sarvam govinda virahe name. So she said that the moment of separation with you is like a yuga, and all this Kurukshetra is void without you. And Krishna started chanting Yogaitam nimeshana chakshusha pravishaitam. That way they met, and Radharani looked and she saw Krishna. And she saw him, and then she closed eyes and she put her eyes down. She saw Krishna and she put him in her heart, and she closed eyes, he don't leave. He stayed in her heart. And that was the meeting of Radha and Krishna. So now we have test for you. Let's see how well you understand. Test by Lord Chaitanya. So Lord Chaitanya came on front of Ratha Yatra in Jagannath Puri, on the assembly of all the great devotees. Assembly of all the great devotees on front of the Lord. And he recited verse. He started singing. And what he was singing, everybody was shocked. They didn't expect that, because he was sannyasi. And he was very strict. He always avoided association of women. And we have to understand that till that time, the identity of Radharani was not very well known. And in most temples, Krishna would be worshipped by himself without Radharani. So let's see how you understand. Let's see if you understand. You're all great devotees, so you must be able to understand why he was singing that. Ya kumara sarasa eva hivaras ta eva chaitrakshapas te chunmilita malati surabaya prauda kadamba nila sa chaivasmi tathapi tatra surata vyapara lila vidhau Reva rodhasi vetasi tarutale cheta samutkanthate. So that verse is not from Bhagavatam, not from Chaitanya Charitamrita. In fact, it's not from any kind of scripture. That verse is actually from Sahitya Darpan book which dealing with dramatic performances and alankaras, the decorations, the embellishments in dramas, rasas. And that verse was actually example of rasa bhasa, how one should not sing. what should not be seen on the public, because performance on the public is meant for the upliftment of the consciousness of the audience. But this verse, what it describes, you listen and tell me why Lord Chaitanya is singing this. Nobody understood, but I hope you understand. That very personality who stole away my heart during my youth is now again my master. These are the same moonlit nights. These are the same moonlit nights of the month of Chaitra. The same fragrance of malati flowers is there, and the same sweet breezes are blowing from the Kadamba forest. In our intimate relationship, I am also the same lover, yet still my mind is not happy here. I am eager to go back to that place on the bank of the river, under the Vitasi tree. That is my desire. So why it is, yes?
So I'm not a great devotee, but I'm Rupanuga. So we were narrating what was in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that this verse it sounds like it's about a young lover lamenting about her past lover, and that's how it was in that Sahitya Darpan. But then, so you said nobody understood, but one person understood. That was Srila Rupa Goswami, and then so he translated. So Srila Rupa Goswami understood this verse, and so he his own Sanskrit verse, which also had all those alankars, but it was about this meeting of Srimati Radharani and Shri Krishna at Kurukshetra. And at that time, Srimati Radharani was saying that, well, now I'm meeting Krishna again, but this is not the same mood, because there are all these elephants and chariots and princes, and this is this field of Kurukshetra, and it is not Vrindavan. So I personally don't remember the actual verse that Srila Rupa Goswami composed, but Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami had said that Anya Hriday Mon Mor Mon Vrindavan, that Srimati Radharani says other people's mind is with their heart, but my mind is in Vrindavan. So she was saying that there was this reunion, but without Vrindavan it was not the same.
So we.
First, it's a Malati Kadamba, right? So the first you spoke, it's a Malati Kadamba.
Yeah, the breeze from Malati flowers.
That means he's reminding Jagannath that Malati Kadamba, that Vrindavan, that situation.
So that's the mood. So we will go to Wheeling, West Virginia next Saturday, this Saturday. And we pull Jagannath and we say that, oh Jagannath, these skyscrapers and the cars here, let's go to Vrindavan, where is the nice, beautiful forest, Vrindavan forest, and Yamuna, and there we will be very happy, and you will be happy. So that's the mood. That's even though everybody was shocked why sannyasi singing this, but that exactly appropriate. Even though it's supposed to be rasabas, it was actually very appropriate verse, because this is the mood of Jagannath Ratha Yatra, that we want take him out of this Kurukshetra, out of Dwaraka, out of Wheeling, West Virginia, to Vrindavan. So it was exactly appropriate. And he And as Rukmini Devi mentioned that Rupa Goswami understand. Also, Swarup Damodar Goswami understood, because he is the one who actually triggered this mood. He was, when Lord Chaitanya was in front of Jagannath cart, he was chanting in his ear, Prananath, 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 Prananath. And Lord Chaitanya started Prananath, Prananath, and then this verse came out. So Swarup Damodar Goswami understood, and Swarup Damodar Goswami was very intimate associate. He was actually Lalita Devi. Lalita Devi, and who is Manjari assisting Lalita Devi is Rupa Manjari. And Rupa Goswami came, and he was also there, and he heard this verse. And Rupa Manjari actually came from the body of Srimati Radharani, and she understands heart of Radharani, and thus Rupa Goswami was able to understand the heart of Lord Chaitanya. And when he went back to his heart, he wrote this verse. He wrote, Priya soyam Krishna sahachari kurukshetra militas tathaham saradha tad idam ubhayor sangama sukham tathapyanta khelan Madhura Murali Panchama Jushe Manome Kalindi Pulinda Vipina Yas Prihayati. And what it says that he actually explained, actually he wrote, Radha and Krishna explaining that what actually meant in that verse that Lord Chaitanya was chanting, because Lord Chaitanya was hidden incarnation. He didn't want to advertise himself as a Radha, so he chanted indirect verse just to express his feelings. And what Rupa Goswami wrote is, my dear friend, now I have met my very old and dear friend Krishna on this field of Kurukshetra. I am the same Radharani, and now we are meeting together. It is very pleasant, but still, I would like to go to the bank of the Yamuna, beneath the trees of the forest there. I wish to hear the vibration of his sweet flute playing the fifth note within that forest of Vrindavana. So that's the mood that we have to get into when we pull Jagannath Ratha Yatra cart, bringing Krishna back to Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Jai Jagannath ki jai.
I have a question that there was curse on Radharani 100 years separation. That is because of the separate Krishna and Radha. So Kurukshetra meeting was within this 100 years or after 100 years?
I think after 100 years it's mentioned, after 100 years they met. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath ki jai. Hare Krishna.